Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Point Fighter Live. I'm Alex Reyes, and I'm here today with a special guest, Coach Nick. And I'm really excited about this show. We're gonna have a bunch of martial arts tips for you guys. And how you doing today, sir? Everybody, everything good?
I'm doing awesome, brother. How you doing?
Awesome, awesome. Hey, so welcome everybody to the page. It's our first show in a while, and we're gonna have an awesome show. Let us know where you're from. Let us know where you're watching from, and if you have any questions for Nick, go ahead. He helps a lot of people. He's helped a lot of people in over the years with their businesses, and now is a crucial time. So we're gonna start the show in a few minutes. Go ahead, and if you have any comments, any questions, comment below and we'll be able to see it and answer it. Okay, so we're just going to give a few minutes to everybody.
Perfect.
All right, so as we get this shared, well, I'm going to share this as well, and I hope everybody's having a great day.
I'm sharing this too, Alex, in some of my groups in case everybody has a lot of questions. It should be fun.
Yeah,
Get started here in a couple minutes. Hope everybody's doing well. Let us know where you're from if you're on the call. If anyone's on the call, just let us know where you're from and also if you're open.
yeah, I want to see who's open already because every state is different. Even cities like their counties like they're different as far as the phases they're in. So, all right, here we go. I'm sharing to my groups. Awesome. I'm excited, man.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be fun. I think everyone's gonna have a good time.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a great show. Here we go. We got some people coming on.
Good.
Wow, we got someone from Africa right now. What's going on? California. What's up? What's up, Larry? Still about one to before we're open. Yeah, yeah. My school is partially open right now. My only my kickboxing class right now is open, but we're planning on doing summer camp the middle of the month and then full karate at towards the end. Miami's only in phase one too, so
Oh my God, are they really?
yeah, we're in phase one. I think phase two is gonna be. So where are you from? You're in New York or where?
I'm in New Jersey, man. That'll be part of the long story I could tell everybody. Like it's crazy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'll tell. I'll get started. I'm just sharing this to all my groups.
Okay.
Um,
We're about to start now, guys.
Great. Good to see everybody on here.
If you have any questions for Nick, let us know. But before we start with the show, I do want to take a moment aside for George Floyd. All right, before we start. Okay. All right. Okay. So, for those of you guys that don't know, Coach Nick, he's helped out many, many people, masses of people. You have a bunch of clients over the years, and, you're here to help today. And man, it's great to have you on the show. It's great to have you on the show for sure. Now, how did it all get started? Because there's a lot of karate school owners, there's a lot of fighters and stuff, but you've done all that, right? You competed in tournaments and everything, but how did you get into helping people like this?
Oh man, by accident. Really good story. Thank you. I'm just sharing this one more time to everyone. So there we go. Now I'm good, Alex. I just shared it to all my groups too.
Okay.
Good to see everybody on here. Thanks for everybody joining us. So the way I got started in the business was kind of the opposite of most people, which I mean by helping schools. So the way I got started was I had a very large school in New Jersey, right where I'm at right now. I'm in Washington Township, New Jersey. And I started using at the time Champion's Way. This was about 15, 16 years ago. And when I started using it, I actually tried to cancel after about a month. Thank you. Thanks, Mike. I tried to cancel because I thought it was like a waste of time. I didn't think technology mattered. And I called in and I tried to cancel. And John Malik at the time from Champions Way said, "Hey man, you sound like a very smart guy, but you're about to make the dumbest decision ever for your business." And that's what it takes for me. I need things to get my attention. I was kind of like, who do you think you're talking to? I actually think at that time, 16, 17 years ago, I was like, do you know I'm a world champion or whatever? I'm a great fighter or whatever it was. So anyway, the guy convinced me, John Malik, to give him 30 days to use the software. And after those 30 days, I realized, and I think this is important for everybody, I was the idiot. Like, it wasn't the software's problem. Like, when he showed me all the things that it did and what I wasn't doing, kind of really made me look at myself like, wow, this guy really was right. Maybe I'm a smart guy, but I am about to make a dumb decision. So I stayed with the software and I started using it. And as I started using it, a lot of people that are probably on this call or watch the recording, they started using me as an advocate of other school owners because I went to karate tournaments. I was part of a big organization. And as my school kept building, when I started it, after 5 years, I actually built my own building. So, which I still own the property and the studio. But yeah, after 5 years, I built my own building. So I had a lot of credibility. Like, people were like, when they came to my school, like I came out the opposite as most consultants. Most consultants couldn't make it in their school, and then they become a consultant. Champions Way pried me out of my school and said, "You need to help people." Wow. And I really didn't know. I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, so that was how I got started. And then when I was at Champions Way, we opened an office for Champions Way, Perfect Mind, and for 6 years I ran that office in New Jersey. There was a Vancouver office. I ran the New Jersey office, and that was how I got started with helping schools. And most of the time, it was like how to get students. I was very good with no money, like having no money, very cheap and not like no cost ways of building people to my school. And that's what I told people. I was like, I did advertising too, but I told them, I'm like, really, the best product is your actual product. If you have great students, you will attract other students. If you have crappy students and they look like crap, no one's like, oh, well, they look really lazy and unorganized. Let me go there. You know what I mean? So your students are a direct reflection of you, in my opinion.
That is true. Hey, so, oh yeah, we got some comments already with questions. Man, that's a great story, and then you just got into this now. Helped so many people. Hey, so we have a question. Get it. I have some questions for you too, but let's get to the followers' comments first.
Sure.
Would you be smarter to downsize the dojo location for less students or stay the same and harder? Oh, that's a good one, right? That's a good. There's a lot of schools that are like my dad downgraded and he's happy about it. He's got a smaller. He's paying 2,000 less. It's a little bit smaller. He doesn't have to pay rent till September. He's super happy and he's got a 3-year lease. So that for him it worked. But what's your advice for this question?
This is a great question. I think so, Mike, would it be smarter to downsize the dojo location for less students or stay same and push harder? I think there's a couple factors on this one. Number one, like when you're saying like downsize, and less students and, or stay the same and push harder. I think that the thing that everyone realizes right now is that even when you reopen and you're allowed to open, right, regardless of when you open, a lot of people, because of the media and fear, like your own students are going to say, well, like we're going to come back like after the summer. We're going to come back next month. We're going to come back, whatever. They're all going to be different. They're all going to be, everyone's got different senses of fear. So for that reason alone, like when your own students are going to come back, think of your leads. And when you're trying to attract new people, it's going to be harder for them too. It's going to be harder to get people to come back. So this question is a very deep question, very big question for all of you, everyone in the martial arts business. And the one thing I would tell you is this, Mike, and everyone on the call, is that we've been programmed to believe that bigger is better, and it's not. Bigger is not necessarily better. Can it be better? Of course it can be better. But just a bigger school, more students, more staff, more overhead, okay, equals more risk, right? And that's really the reality. So all of you are faced, in my opinion, and you should write this down, it's called a strategic inflection point. You are faced, and this is very common in all business. A lot of things I teach are not with the martial arts. It's general, like technology and marketing and stuff like that. So a strategic inflection point, to answer your question, Larry, is all of us have seen our schools grow, and we've got to the coronavirus, right? So we started 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, and we grew and we grew and we grew, and now the coronavirus hit. And when you have a strategic inflection point, what that means is that if there's not change on your part, you have 6 forces, okay, from outside, that if you do not change and you think that the same thing is going to work, you're going to see the downward trajectory, okay? Because you are faced with things that it doesn't matter what you did 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. There are new forces: fear, scarcity. People don't want to come in. People want not to be part of a big group because that causes a lot of fear because of the media. So if we don't adjust this time right now the effective way, whether it's downsizing your staff, creating a new model, like that's the thing that we're doing. Like we have a model, guys, for us that is the opposite of what everyone's doing. Our model that we have it's called Coaching Boss. You had asked me about this. Yeah. Coaching Boss is a completely virtual model with no staff. You're the only person teaching, right? And there's no overhead. You're not allowed to have staff. You're not allowed to have a school. You're not allowed to have everything is completely done online. Now, if you have a school and you're part of Coaching Boss, you can do some of it. You could work with your existing members, but this is something that you're going to see in the next 6 months. The next 6 months.
Mm-hmm. But where you're saying it's a program basically. But I know you sold out already, like on your first one, right? So it's basically.
Yeah, Alex. Listen, to Mike's point, like bigger being better. As soon as we got 20 people, I shut it down.
Yeah.
The thing that everyone on this call, if I could really give you the best advice I can give you, is that stop thinking of volume and think of intimacy, closeness, and less people and a deeper relationship, a deeper connection. And you could have less people and make more money versus not knowing half your people or not really having a connection with them, because they're the ones that quit during the virus, the ones that there's no connection with. So yes, that's what I believe. I think that's one of the models that we're doing.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, for let's say, schools like myself, like I own a school as well, and a lot of my friends at the beginning of the year, 2020, for me, I was like, thriving, and then now it went from like thriving to almost surviving because of the coronavirus. But what has been the you have a lot of clients. What are the schools that are thriving still during this? What are they doing right now? And let's say your top advice, you just gave a great advice right now. That may be like a number one, but that was one of the questions. What's the number one advice all school owners should be doing right now?
That's a great question. And I'll break it down to 3 simple things for everybody. So
yeah.
What we did for all of our clients, and this is the most important thing in my opinion. Number 1, you should have never lost the narrative of your business. So I call it controlling your narrative. Controlling your narrative is, I don't care what the governor says. I don't care what the state's saying. I don't give a shit what anyone's saying. Like, I own my brand. So I dictate the story of what's going on with my gym. So when I say controlling the narrative, like when you're always saying, well, we're waiting to hear, we're waiting this, we're whatever, like you could do that. And then you could basically lose control. Or what we did was we told people when this initially happened on March 15th, we took control and we did videos with a funnel, and there was a 4-step video funnel. Step 1, thank you so much. We know that everyone is very concerned about the virus. We wanted everyone to know immediately we're transitioning to an online model effective today. Step number 2, you will get an accountability coach, someone that will hold you accountable every week to make sure you don't fall behind with your rank. So that is no additional cost. You get that accountability coach during this transitionary period. Number 3, you will continue to make your normal tuition payments. If you have a problem, reach out to me personally. We can discuss it. Number 4, there's links below to the Facebook groups for your age bracket that will explain to you exactly how to get onto the live classes. Thank you very much. So that is what we did. And the thing is,
that accountability, right? Because that's something that I didn't think about at all. So you would basically do one-on-one with them once a week? Is that what it is?
Well, we had a software program that puts all of your members into little dragons, kids, blah, blah, blah. And what it is, it's a very simple system. The accountability can be a phone call, a check-in, a Zoom call, And all those people in those programs, they have to be moved from the left side to the right side. So they're over here, and there's been no contact or accountability. And then by the end of the week, they've got to move over. Anyone that has not been accounted for, all right, we know that the longer that goes, the less chance of them coming back ever. So like it should be done on a weekly basis, just like a regular karate school.
Yeah.
Like you don't check on your students every month, you check on your students every week. So we use technology to make sure that every week that we just drag them over. So that at the end of the week, we could see, hey, here's the 10 people. What's up with these people? Where are they? What's their status? And that was the most important thing. Once they start losing status and communication, it's only a matter of time they're going to quit and they're going to drop out, or they're going to hold their program. So that was what we did. We used the technology program and we just talked to them every week, Alex.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Now we're talking. I'm getting questions in my head. I hope I remember them all. Now, how about, like, let's say you have some students that are on Zoom. They were paying a certain, like you said, tuition's the same. What if they come to you with like, oh, we're having tough times. We want to stay. We just can't afford it. Do you kind of give them breaks if they say something like that, or if they want to quit?
100%. I mean, like if someone has an economic situation, loss of job, or something like that's really they lost their job, or they're getting laid off, or anything like that, financial hardship. Anyone that is in that situation, we don't cancel them. Like we just let them know that we're going to sponsor them, and for the foreseeable future until they get back on their feet. I think a lot of people were faced with that. Not as bad because a lot of people didn't lose jobs. I mean, like unless you're obviously working at a hair salon, a nail salon, or us, like we can't, teach martial arts. But it wasn't as bad as I think people anticipated.
Yeah.
But for anyone that did do that, we did, make sure that they could continue to train until they get back on their feet.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, so now if you guys have questions, go ahead and type it in. We'll post it. I think we have another one right now here, but I'm gonna get into that now. With schools reopening, and they're doing the Zoom. Could you do that together? Could you teach a Zoom class and class on the floor at the same time, or do you recommend it not doing that?
Well, I mean, this is the problem. The problem is that so we're reopening, right? And let's just go simple. We have 100 students, right? Well, 20% of them, maybe 30% of them are going to say, "Hey, Alex, listen, that's great, but we're not ready to come back yet. We want to wait a couple weeks," right? You've got to serve them, or you're going to lose them. You know what I mean? So, yes, and this is the very important piece that's about to happen. When I talk about the strategic inflection point, you will have to do either, 10 people per class or whatever the restrictions are, right? And then the people that are scared or fearful, you're going to have the same thing continue on with the Zoom classes, one-on-one. There has to be an alternative for them, or they're just going to cancel or go on hold. Now, the problem that people, I think, need to anticipate is that, okay, so imagine I'm teaching like people in person, and then I also have the Zoom class going on. That's going to be more labor intensive. You might need another person, right? So you might need more staff because the thing is, I can't teach people right here and then have to worry about people on Zoom. You're literally going to need someone else. You know what I mean?
I was thinking about where I'm going to put my laptop and the camera I'm facing here. I'm already thinking about where I should put it. But yeah, you need help for sure.
My point on that one was exactly what we did. Like I really anticipate problems way before they happen. I think everyone should. So if you're not open yet and you're waiting and they're going to try to figure it out like the week this happens, you should be doing it now. If you're opening June 5th, June 10th, July, whatever, like you should just go create a Facebook group, a test group, get 10 students to come in for your school, and then do the Zoom class to make sure you have the right resources, to make sure that the experience, okay, is still very good, because that's why people are going to quit. If it's just you teaching, Alex, and there's no interaction, and people have no idea what's going on, why would they keep paying you for some class? They're going to say to you, hey, when everything blows over, we'll come back. We don't want that. That's why the private lessons and more accountability with those people on Zoom and the connection, the personal connection, that's what everyone's going to have to realize. Like, that's what it's about. You're going to have a harder time with volume on fear and just like regulation. So the connection is really important for that.
Yeah, man, for sure. For sure. We're going to get on I have more questions. I just want to get on to, let's see, Eric. Oh, what percentage of schools do you see closing down in the future? Do you see in the future because of coronavirus?
Well, that's a great question. I think that, the schools that we work with in Waterbourne, We were preparing for war almost 6 months before it happened. Like when I say preparing for war, I was training them how to like understand strategies of war and ways to attack and ways to plan. And then ironically, we were also, interestingly enough, we were also talking about transformation. Like the whole world and individuals were all going through the transformation. And I really believe that's where you are right now. I believe a lot of people are, my advice for you is like, stop listening to everybody else and telling you what to do. Like everyone has all these agendas, like consultants, gurus, whatever. What I explain to my group is that I'm not your savior. I'm not your guru. I'm a guide. I'm a wayfinder. I'm someone that will help you find your way, because you have got to find your way. You've got to find out what is in your north. It's called your North Star, right? And everyone's is always trying to follow and watch what everyone else is doing. So this transformational time that I think you're going through, it's one of the things that I did with the thing I created. Like I know that the problem that's going to happen before it's here. Like I already know that there's going to be a point where people are going to be like, this is not working out. And I'm telling you, the framework that I use is the company of one. It's not relying on, because you're going to have problems with employees. They're on unemployment. They don't want to come back. They're scared of the virus. There's lots of fears. So I think to his question, what percentage of schools do you see closing down? I don't think that people that work with me, that have worked with me, we've really had one school close down, and went into a full-time job. I think that there's a litter of bad information and bad strategies. And like, here's the bottom line, everyone who's watching this video. It doesn't matter what you did 20 years ago. It doesn't matter what you did 10 years ago. It doesn't matter what you did 5 years ago. If you're listening to someone that's talking about all what they did in the past, my advice for you is to like, kind of like, all right, look what else is out there. Look at someone who's dealing with the present. Look to someone who has like actually been battle tested in this environment. Like that's the thing. Like I've run online masterminds for 5 years. It's not something I'm like, I know how to do online memberships, but a lot of people that are coaching you how to do it, they're learning as they go. That's what the martial arts has always been. Guys that learn, like, and even me, that's why I told you, like I was pulled to be a consultant. Yeah. So when I was coming up, like everyone claimed this and claimed that. And when I built my school, I just would go to their school. I would say, hey, Alex, let me come check out your school. And what I realized was right away, half of them liars. Their numbers were bullshit. They did not have what they said in all their century and catalogs and like speaking. Like when I went there, it was not true. So when I came and opened, or when I started working with Champions Way, like I had the product to back it up. I said, hey, why don't you just come to my school so I could show you how it works? And most people did not see 2 classrooms with 700 students and 5 full-time instructors. Like that's what we had. So be very careful and skeptical of people that are telling you what to do that have never done it. Like this is a new time. It's a new world. It really is very, very new. So you have to be very careful with people in the past that are giving out information that really you're their guinea pig.
Yeah, you're right. That is true. You're right. That's true. And for me as a school owner, what I have is like, I have a lot of hope, and, I have that black belt mentality, never quit, so it's like, especially, the hope, to have what I had, in January, like my school is really doing great, and, it went down now because of this, and like, I'm not going to go down. Like I have hope that I could get there, but it is going to take time. And, with some people, to close 100%, man, that's gotta be tough. I mean, I understand downsizing, to survive, but like 100%, that's gotta be pretty sad for people, and that's happening now. It is happening. There's people like 20 years in the business, and they're like closed. They were like there with an empty floor, sitting down and just sad with their head down and stuff. It's really sad. But
they didn't plug the gap, like or close the chasm. Like when you knew this was happening and you saw what was happening, you saw the revenue dropping, like you had to create alternative solutions quick. And that's why we started doing virtual classes back in March, like for leads. Like people, like when everyone's like during that period, it was cheaper to get leads online because everyone pulled their advertising. There's lots of, listen, this is something that I think everyone should really take in a very high consideration to, like, when you're deciding what you're going to do. The problem is that when you talk about theories of advancement, right? You have to look at the past. You have to look at Sears Roebuck. You have to look at the floppy disk. You have to look at companies that were billion-dollar companies, and why did they collapse? Right? Well, they collapsed because they didn't listen. And you can't listen to people that are talking about all this stuff that's going to do whatever. You got to talk to someone that's done what they're telling you to do now. Like you can't, like that's the thing. It's like, so I knew that when this happened, we knew relatively quickly that everyone would pull their ads, but you can get leads cheaper. And then you had to start understanding that you had to get leads like virtual, you had to turn in virtual memberships. And the other thing too is that now you're going to need a higher ticket like system. You can't, like if you have less people and you're say you used to have 300 students, but now you're going to have 200 just because of fear. If you're not charging more money and you don't have high ticket programs that are more personalized, this is a mathematics game. So everyone that really closed down and that is going to close down, my advice for you is like, stop worrying about what people are telling you and feeling. You have to look at the math. Here's where you were in 2019. Every month you were grossing this. Here's where you are now. And if you study math enough, like you could kind of figure out like the writing is on the wall. If you don't change it soon and replace the revenue, then you're going to have to start laying people off, canceling marketing services. And when you start cutting things out, you're going to cut yourself right out of business.
Yeah.
Like you're not prepared for the war. Like think about it. That's what it is. Like just because you lost people, you should have had savings or something. And if you don't have that, most people, the mistake they make, Alex, is they cut their marketing. And then you're basically cutting your, like if you pull your ads or you pull your lead generation or anything, and you're just hoping that your students are going to get you through this. How could your students just get you through it? Like you're going to have to replace the revenue. You know what I mean? So hope that helps.
If you're a school owner now watching this and they're not your clients, and you're like, how could Nick help me? It's really simple. You just I'm gonna tag you. You can look him up on Facebook. I'm gonna tag him after the video as well, and you just contact him and get started. He's one-on-one with everybody like that. He does a great job, and
Well, I think that helps. Thank you. But like me, guys, just to touch on or add on to that, it's like, yeah, we have a lot of different things. It doesn't matter, right? Like we have software, we have marketing services, we have coaching, whatever. But all of you that are listening to this are in a completely different situation. So anyone that's going to try to just throw you into something, like you need to like be skeptical again. There's no one size fits all for this transition. So I don't know you, like I'm sure you don't know me. Like what I need to do is get on a call with you and tell me where you are, what you're doing, what you're not doing, and then I can kind of point you in the right direction. We also are starting a revival program. It's $200 a month, very low. It's starting June 15th. And that is for school owners. And it's a 3-month program. We give you everything. You don't need to buy stuff. We give you the software. We give you the marketing materials. We give you everything on a re-grand opening funnel and a re-grand opening campaign to control that narrative that you're reopening. And no one will market like we do, guys. When you see what we do, you're going to be like, you guys are relentless. Well, that's why it's tattooed on my arm, right? Like when we do a re-grand opening and you're going to do re-grand open your business, you have one chance to let everybody know you're reopening. You better make it count or people are going to think that you closed. So the month number 1 is all about re-grand opening. Month number 2, you hear me talking about high ticket. It's all about high ticket coaching. That is the future for all of you. You just don't know it yet. Remember, you heard it here first. That is the future for all of you. High ticket coaching, less people for more money. And here's the best part: more time with your family, more time with yourself, more time with like just enjoying life. You don't need to like be living. You're looking at the guy. There's no one, guys. When I was in my school, you asked my wife, like I literally did not have dinner with my family for 10 years. Like it was seriously, it's embarrassing to say. I had to give my life to that. My job was, babe, you handle the school, I'll handle the kids. Now they were my stepchildren, but I had to live in my school, live there. I'm telling you, there's a better way. I have a business. I work wherever I want, when I want, with who I want. And you can get there too, guys. It's all about believing it. So you really need it. Thank you, Nick, for the compliment. I appreciate that.
Hey,
so yeah.
Touched up on that. The future. Do you see it as a positive? At the end of the day, like, this coronavirus has had some positives, like more family time. Like at the end of the day, when it's gone, like I talked to a lot of my friends, they see the future. They could double their school because of the online. Your reach is farther, right? Do you see that happen? Do you see that happening as well? Are you a believer of that?
I think that's like, it sounds good. And I think that, like, let me explain to you, I'll define this. There's shallow, like, views, and then there's depth. And
Hmm.
if you look at what happened in the martial arts, like when this whole thing went happen, everyone kind of just watched everybody and copied everybody and did the same exact thing, right?
That's
Like, it
true.
was just like everyone did the same exact thing. I kind of, whenever I head in that direction, I kind of take a step back and I'm like, if everyone's doing it, it means that no one's really thinking with depth. So I think that, like, so that's why, like, for me, the high ticket and like, we have a life mastery program we just released. It has nothing to do with martial arts. And the schools that I work with, we flipped it. Like, what I mean by that is we've reversed the script. We lead with life skill mastery, and the martial arts is the secondary part of it, right?
Right.
That's the opposite of everybody else. So when everyone's talking about this, like, oh, it's the future, like, have you ever marketed online? Do you understand, like, how hard it is? And if
Yeah.
you're just going everywhere, can you do it? Yes, you can, but really without the right strategy and in-depth plan on the model of how it's going to work, you're kind of just throwing stuff out there and you could be wasting a lot of time. Like, so the answer to your question is, it depends.
It depends.
Like, yeah, because I don't know their infrastructure. I don't know their product. I don't know how they're teaching people. If they think they're going to do it on Zoom and that's going to be it, no
Yeah.
chance. No chance. Like, Zoom was a temporary measure.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
a great compliment, but
Yeah.
it is not a long-term solution.
Once they
So,
get back to normal, yeah, that's true. I think it's going to be harder. That's true. Man, it was great to have you on the show. We're going to wrap it up now. And anybody out there watching, you want more information, that package that you have is great. We're also going to, we'll make a post for that with the $200 a month. The program, I forgot what it's called, Revival, right? Revival program.
yeah, yeah, man, just reviving people. And
Yeah,
I think that a lot of people really, I think that the big
great.
thing we're going to get from this is also, besides the marketing, everything else, is you have to start looking at yourself as a strategist, right? I'll leave you with this one last thing. It's
Yes.
like you're either going to be a strategist or going to be a reactionist. You know what I mean? There's really no in between. The strategist is developing strategies of thinking. The reactionist is the person who's just reacting and, sporadic and all over the place and, like, mess. Like, you need to have, again, it's either depth or shallowness. So, like, that plan, this next 30 days, like I said, or sorry, 90 days revival, I really believe that it's probably the most critical time ever. Okay, this next 6 months, actually,
Yeah.
year, you could say whatever it is, like,
Yeah.
getting out of this and transitioning out of this. Yeah, like, I think you're going to see a lot of people going several directions. I don't think there's one way that's the best way. I think that you have to find what is the best for you,
Yeah.
because that is ultimately what you're trying to live. You're trying to live your best life. So I think that you're going to see a lot of volume-based programs that everyone was using before. I think they're going to be, I think a lot of them are going to lose lots of clients.
Yeah.
Because, like, as you discover yourself and where you're trying to go, sometimes stuff that's force fed to you or that, you were told worked, you found out in the most critical time it didn't work. So I think that a lot of people are going to find their north, where they need to go. And listen, let me tell you something, guys. Anybody that wants to just talk and just jump on a call because you're confused and you want to know what you should be thinking about, really simple, man. Love to jump on a call with anyone that just wants some guidance. But I think that we're all in a very interesting time. I think it should be exciting as well. And I think that you should be really careful with who you follow and what decisions you make. That's
Yeah.
it.
For sure. I love your passion, man. Great show. It was a great show. A first show back since the quarantine, and I had a lot of fun with you. Maybe we could bring you on more often as well. Okay, and
I'm
have
always available, bro. Let me know.
this.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you so much.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We're gonna have another show this week. We got a live training tomorrow. We got a training on Friday, on Thursday as well. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, Instagram. Keep watching our videos. And thanks for all your support. All right, power baby. Woo!
Tower, love it.